Good morning, students. I welcome you all to the online teaching session of English Kumar Bharti of class 9th. Today, we shall begin with Unit 2.3 Somebody's Mother. A very beautiful and simple but heart touching poem which is written by the poetess Mary Du Bryan. Before we start discussing with this poem, let me tell you the basic theme of this poem. In fact, here the poem is all about a small boy, one who helps an old woman who is all the way in need of help, but unfortunately, none of help her. So, a small school going boy observes her and helps her. This is what which we are going to study in this poem, Somebody's Mother. The boy, in fact, thinks if I help this lady, then definitely in future, if my own mother will find herself in difficulty, then definitely another person may help her in her difficulty. That is what is discussed by Mary Bryan in this poem, that is Somebody's Mother. Before we start, if you look at page number 36 in warming up, as I have told in my previous session as well, you have to do all those activities which are given in warming up by your own. So, without wasting your time, let us come on page number 37. Somebody's Mother. The most important, the most beautiful poem which is composed by Mary Du Bryan. Let us see the very first stanza of this poem. Here I go. The woman was old and ragged and grey and bent with the chill of a winter's day. The streets were white with a recent snow, and the woman's feet with age were slow. The very first stanza where the poetess speaks about the condition of the old woman, one who finds herself in a critical situation. In fact, there was a snowfall and she found herself really in a critical situation due to the snowfall, as it is mentioned there in the very first stanza. The woman was old and ragged and grey. She was looking so old, ragged, wearing old and torn clothes. That shows her condition, that shows her plight, as she belongs from a very poor family and no one is looking after her. So she finds herself alone on the street, on the road, and waiting for someone to come and help her. And bent with the chill of a winter's day, the streets were white with a recent snow, and the woman's feet with age were slow. She was unable to move because of the heavy snowfall. She finds herself in a difficult situation and just looking for someone to come and help her, as she is not able to pass, as she is not able to cross the road because of heavy snowfall, right? That is what is described in the very first stanza of this poem. Let us go to the second stanza. At the crowded crossing she waited long, jostled aside by the careless throng, and she was just waiting over and over there, because she wanted someone to come and help her in her difficult situation. At the crowded crossing she waited long, jostle means pushed by someone, jostled aside by the careless throng here it means, if you look at the blackboard, large crowd. She might have pushed by someone, right, as she was standing for a long time, but the careless crowd wasn't noticed her. Someone might have pushed her over there, but still she is standing there. That is what is described by Mary Bryan in this poem. This is really, if you go through this poem, definitely you will feel that this is a heart touching, as I have mentioned over here. Heart touching poem where the poetess describes the plight. Plight here means condition of the old woman, one who is waiting for someone to come and help her. That is what is mentioned. At the crowded crossing, she waited long, jostled aside by the careless throng of human beings who passed her by, unheeding the glance of her anxious eye. But unfortunately, none of from the crowd, throng here means large crowd, none of came forward and helped her, and she was just waiting over there for a long time. But the careless throng, as I have told, means careless crowd, didn't come. In fact, none of them pay attention, looked at her, and she was just standing there quietly and waiting for someone. But unfortunately, none of the person from the crowd came forward and helped this lady. So we feel really very sad for her as she is waiting for a long time. And this is the condition, right, of this old lady, one who is waiting for a long time. But unfortunately, I must say, none of came forward to help her. That is what is expressed by Mary Bryan in first two stanzas. Let us move forward. The third stanza, here I go. Down the street with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out. After some times, she observed, down the street with laughter and shout, a group of school-going boys, just they are coming. And she's observing those small school-going boys, those who are just, looking very happy, excited as it was the time to go at home after the school gets over. So they are just enjoying themselves by laughing. Down the street with laughter and shout, glad in the freedom of school let out. School let out means after the school gets over. They looked very happy because now they are going at their home and they are just enjoying on the road. And here the group of boys is observed by this lady. Let us see what happened. Came happy boys like a flock of sheep, hailing the snow piled white and deep, past the woman so old and grey. Hasten the children on their way. And those all school going boys, just imagine yourself when the school is about to finish. All of you look very excited, happy, as you wanted to go home at any cost. That is what is expressed by Mary Bryan. A school going boys, a group of school going boys is coming near to the woman, old woman I must say, and they are all looking very happy, glad. Glad means happy, as they are excited to go at home. She observes them. Hasten the children on their way. Hasten means they are really in hurry as they wanted to go to their home. Let us see the next stanza. None offered a helping hand to her. But again here, none of them from the group offered, means to give a helping hand to the old lady. So she really looks very, very unhappy, sad, as she is just standing over there on the road for a long time. And unfortunately, none of these school-going boys came forward to help that lady. So weak and timid, afraid to stir. She looks so weak, right? Timid means, fearful. If you look at, just imagine a picture of an old woman, one who is of 80 to 90 years of age. And, those people are really very, very weak, timid, fearful, as they are unable to move from one place to another place. That is what is the condition of that old lady, which is described by Mary Bryan, right? So weak and timid, afraid to stir. To stir means to move on. She is in fact unable to move on from one place to another place because of her age. so that she is waiting for someone to come and help her crossing the road. Lest the carriage wheels or the horse's feet should trample her down in the slippery street, as there is a crowd and she's afraid of the carriage wheels or the horse's feet will trample. Trample means to crush down, to break down herself. So she is in worry कि if I myself will crush down, then I don't know what will happen with me, and therefore she waits over there for a long time, so that, as I have mentioned earlier, anyone can offer her a helping hand, but unfortunately no one comes. Should trample means crush down, break down in the slippery street, and the condition of this street is really, because of heavy snowfall, the road looks like slippery, and it is really very difficult for that lady to cross the road. That is why she is just standing over there for a long time. Let us see what happened in the end. I move forward towards the next stanza. At last came out the merry troop. Merry means happy looking. Troop means group of boys. She is observing again this merry troop. Merry means very happy looking group of school going boys. The gayest boy of all the group. Gayest means one who is very, cheerful, smart looking, happy boy from that group. He paused beside her and whispered low, I will help you across if you wish to go. He observed कि अरे there is one lady standing over there. She is waiting for help. So as he observed, he went to that lady and whispered means murmured. Murmured means to speak in a low voice. May I help you? I will, as it is mentioned over here, I will help you across if you don't mind. I will help you across the road. This is, really a very, very important, event as we proceed in this poem, where a boy, a small guest means happy looking, cheerful boy comes over there and helps the old woman. Her aged hand on his strong young arm she placed, and so without hurt or harm he guided the trembling feet along. As he said, the old lady, without hesitating, went with that gayest boy, one who was very, very young, cheerful, happy looking. She came, she stood beside him and went with that small boy, one who helped to that lady. She placed, and so without hurt or harm he guided the trembling. Trembling means shivering. Her hands were shivering of cold because there was a heavy snowfall and she was not able to manage herself, as she was old, aged lady. He guided the trembling feet along, proud that his own were young and strong. Then back again to his friends he went, his young heart happy and well content. This is how the gayest boy helped that old lady by crossing the road. After crossing the road, again he came back to his friends and he was just telling them the way I helped that lady, one who was in need. Here, my dear students, you will find that I want to tell you one very well-known proverb. Service to man is service to God. Indirectly here, the boy serves to God by serving those who are poor and needy. Right? Therefore, this is a very important proverb. Service to man is service to God. And here, the boy offered himself by crossing that old lady as she was just looking helpless. So he came and helped her in her difficult situation. And when we help others, that is really a very, very important thing for all of us, because we get ourselves self contented. Self satisfaction is indeed very important. That is what was happened with that small boy. He came back towards his friends and started telling them, this is what was happened with me. I helped that lady. Now I am really very, very happy by helping, by offering her my help. That is self content, which we must have in our life, right? Let us turn your page. We are about to finish with this poem. Come on, page number 38. Before we continue, you might have observed there are rhyming words. If you observe, if you go through this poem, you will find number of rhyming words. Those which you have to find on your own and write in your notebook. Let us turn the page. Come on, page number 38. Here I go. She is somebody's mother, boys, you know. And he started discussing with his friends. My dear friends, just now I offered my help to that old lady, and she might be someone's mother. That is all about the title, somebody's mother, where the boy helped her in her difficult situation. That is what which we study, which we learn here in this poem. She is somebody's mother, boys, you know. For all she is aged and poor and slow. She is really very, very old, aged, poor, and she is not able to move from her own place because she is old, aged. She is too old, right? And someone sometime may lend a hand. That is why I offered my hand to her by crossing the road, because she is helpless. She cannot move from her own place. To help my mother, you understand, there is someone somewhere. Now here you see the way he thinks. When my own mother will find herself in critical, difficult situation, then at that time there will be someone somewhere, one who will help her in her critical situation, right? Because I just helped her. Maybe in future my mother will be, in critical situation. At that time someone will definitely come and offer her helping hands. To help my mother, you understand, if ever she is old and poor and grey, and her own dear boy so far away, maybe I will be not there with her to help her. So at that time someone somewhere will definitely help her, because I have just helped that old lady. Maybe in future someone will come and help my mother. At that time I may be not there with her. That is what the small boy discusses with his friends. Let us go to the last stanza of this poem. Somebody's mother bowed low her head. After crossing the street, she came at her home and she bowed her head down and started praying in her home that night. And the prayer she said, after coming at her home, she bowed her head down and prayed to God the Almighty. In her prayer she said, her prayer was, and the prayer she said was, see, those two lines are really very important, heart touching. God, be kind to that noble boy. Oh God, be kind, be lovable with that noble boy. One who helped, noble means great, one who helped me in my difficulty by crossing me the road. God, be kind to that noble boy who is somebody's son and pride and joy. He might be somebody's son, somebody's pride and joy. Please, my dear God, help him whenever he offers, whenever he needs help. my dear God, don't forget to help him. So, my dear students, with this, here we have finished this beautiful poem which is all about mother, the place of mother in our life. We cannot imagine the importance of mother in our life. She is the person, one who thinks all the way about her children without thinking about herself. She all the way thinks about her children. So we cannot ignore her help, the way she nurtures, the way she takes our care, the way she loves. This is really okay a great matter of pride, which is discussed by the poetess Mary Du Bryan in this poem, right? So that's all for today's online session. In my next online session we will have new lesson. Till that time, keep reading, keep watching my videos, keep studying. Thank you very much. Have a good day.